Welcome back to Bartlett Arborist Supply. In today's video we're going to do a quick how to ascend a tree while using spurs, gaffs, however you like to call them. Spikes, climbing spikes, you know, everybody calls them by a different name. But the general idea is you got a pointy thing at the bottom of your boot. Boop, boop. Okay? So, most of the times in my practice when I do removals and things like that, I'll install a rope and avoid having to gaff up the tree just to kind of save my knees a little bit. But there might be those times where it's, okay, I'm just gonna work my way up, my lanyard on, and go about my business, right? But these are a couple different steps or a couple things that I have done or continue to do. But first things first, what you need are gonna be your gaffs. You need your harness, PPE, all this good stuff, your lanyard, and your climbing line, okay? This is where it kind of gets debatey with some people that I've talked to, where they'll go up all the way and then just finally tie in at the top. I normally like to practice, if I'm going up this way, I like either creating a cinch anchor or working with a friction saver, or even double lanyard, which I'll kind of explain when I start making my way up this tree. So, just an FYI, this tree is slated to be removable, so that's why we're gonna gaff it. It's gonna be coming down no matter what. But the first things first, in order to keep going, I'll have my lanyard, and I do have a long lanyard to allow me to whip it around the tree, especially at the base. If you're gonna do this technique and you're working with a very stout tree at the base, this makes it a lot easier. So in previous videos, Jake has done a video where he just grabs it like this, and he'll just whip it around. So whip, and now it's over here, and that's part one. There is a reason why I normally, when someone asks me like, hey, what kind of rope do you recommend? Do you recommend the spliced eye? I always recommend the spliced eye. And working with an open system, so this is my climbing rope right here. It's a FTC 12 mil Nigma, and it's basically a long lanyard at this point. So whatever length of rope or climbing line that you have, so if it's a 120, 150, 200, 250, if you're doing some crazy tall trees, 300, that's how long this lanyard is, right? Because I have my basic hitch climber set up, carabiner at the other end. Now a lot of people choose to ascend this way and then reconfigure a second lanyard when they start to cut, which it's normally the recommended thing to do. But I'll also employ this method where I'll use my second lanyard, quote unquote, to ascend. So up, I grabbed it, and I tend to separate it, one on my forward, one on my hip Ds, just so that I don't get confused and open up the wrong one when it's not needed. And I'll kind of work both of them up, either flipping. If you have a wire core, easier to flip, but with rope, I tend to give it a whip. And just an example, so with rope, it's not always easy to flip up because you get that it's not stiff like a wire core is. So that's where those wire core lanyards shine, is on flipping, hence flip line. So it won't go anywhere, and what I'll do is I have a little bit of extra slack, and I'll just give it a whip like that. And I'll do the same thing if I want to lower it, and then one more time. Quick whip, and it goes and it advances up higher, okay? I am using all hitch-based system. I prefer hitch-based lanyards. And now, gaffing in, oh, little stump there. When you gaff into a tree, it's not necessary to give it that thunder kick, right? You'll end up beating your knees up over time, and it definitely begins to add up. And as far as gaff length, it's recommended you stay with a tree gaff for tree care operations and removals and things like that. But I know I've met a lot of people that run pole gaffs, and you know, it's to each their own. I've always ran tree gaffs. I tried pole gaffs once. It wasn't for me. I prefer the tree gaff. Okay, so I would begin to either work both lanyards up at the same time, or work one up at one up slowly. However you choose to do it, it'd be entirely up to you, you know. And you slowly do small steps. You don't want to give it a big because now you have to kick that much higher to advance yourself. It's all little steps, little kicks. Nothing crazy, no crazy kicking into the tree. The harder you kick into the tree, the harder it is going to pull back out. Okay? And you just continue to work, continue to work, continue to work. And tree gaffs really shine on these trees with thick bark. That's where the difference comes in. And now that I'm kind of where I want, right? So if I had an obstacle to go over, this is where that also works, because I can disconnect my second, which in this one is my climb line, and I would just throw it, get it over that obstacle, and continue to work my way up. So that way I'm really never disconnected. But in the event of a fall and you're only on double lanyards, you're just going to continue to slide until the base opens up or you're caught up by a branch union, a stub. And for those that have practiced spar rescue operations, well, spar rescue, it's not always a simple rescue to pull, right? It's a little bit harder, especially when the climber hasn't pre-configured a descent system or an egress mode, if you would. So in this case, there's two ways you can do having a cinch anchor. You can always do what we would say an SRS anchor. So I'm going the forwards, extend my system out, and this is something you can continue to advance with you in this cinch configuration. So here I'm just gonna, missed it. That's the problem with these big trees. 1, 2, and here we go. Got it. So I'm gonna slack out line. It's around the spar of the tree. And what I'm gonna choose to do here is gonna be a running Alpine. Relatively quick to tie and easy to pull off. All right, dress it up a little bit like we're taking it to prom. And now, if I so chose to, I can sit into it. And my system, if I fell down, it would just bite and catch, okay? So that's one way to do it. The second method would be to employ a friction saver of some sort. The key to using the friction saver, though, would have to be adjustable, all right? So if it's just a standard ring and ring, and if it's a small spar, then at this point, it won't bite because the rings will touch and it'll truly never cinch, giving you a cinch anchor. So what I'm gonna do here for this video, oh, there goes the rope, is my pulley saver. There's two configurations you can use here. One's gonna be the super traditional method of just putting the pulley through the soft eye, and you keep your moving rope set up rather than the cinch anchor gives you an SRT or SRS anchor, right? So this way you get to keep moving rope if that's what you're familiar with and what you like working off of. So let's see if I can whip this soft eye over. I might just add my carabiner to the end to give it a little bit of oomph, right? All right, here we go. Here goes nothing. 1, 2. Oh, just graced it. 1, 2. Got it. All right, so that's a little trick for you. Put a carabiner at the end, give it a little bit of weight. Solid. But back to this. So soft eye, pulley, and if I just put it through there, cinch this up a little bit, I can now move my climbing system through the anchor here and advance my way up, right? So I can choose to tighten it up, tighten up my system. Okay, I need to go a little higher. Here we go. So it's step, 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 No big steps so you don't fatigue out as fast. And no hard kicks. Remember that. That's the important thing. Now, you can advance this with you. It's a little harder in this configuration, but there's a second way that you can work the pulley saver in a moving rope system as well. So this is the traditional method, feeding it through, choking it through the soft eye. The second method offers us just like a traditional friction saver. So we're going to take our pulley and move it just as close as we can to the soft eye. All right, that's where I'm going with it, right there. To the end of the soft eye. I still have the soft eye here, pulley right over here. And if you haven't climbed off of a pulley, butter smooth. Oh my God, world changer, especially for a moving rope system. If you like smooth and efficient systems, definitely give it a try. But here we go. So take this, and I'm gonna whip it around. One more time. We can make it. Whoop. Third time's a charm is what they say. Got it. See, they didn't lie. Now, so you don't lose everything, I'm gonna take this and just rest it within my lanyard. So now I haven't really lost or have dropped it, so now I can let go. I'm hands-free of the friction saver. It's in between my lanyard, and I can kind of work around with this first. So rope, drop this down. So as we all know, on a traditional ring-to-ring friction saver, you want to have enough of a gap between the rings, so that way when you fully set your weight, it collapses and it creates this pressure, giving you a cinch, right? So that's what we're going to do with this. So the pulley saver comes with this little thimble. I'm just going to slide it, lift this up, make sure there's going to be enough space. Okay, good. So now take your climb rope, and my FTC Nigma rope has this super sleek eye where it's very easy to push through the thimble with minimal fuss, right? Minimal fuss, very minimal. Now I can button it up, move this up a little bit. There we go. Move it up a little bit and tighten up the whole system. Now we're going to test it out by introducing some weight into it. I have enough space where now I'm completely off. Okay, I can disconnect my lanyard because I've loaded my system in, and right now, as you can see, my pulley saver is doing my work for me. It's holding me in place. So now if I had to bail out, I can just rappel down to the ground. No need to add extra friction into the system because I'm on a moving rope system here. We're good. So, and the great thing about it, it's retrievable from the ground. Get your little retrieval cone, slip it on the eye, pops out, catches on the thimble, you just retrieved it. It's good, right? But if you don't have this option, you're working on double lanyards, you're working on gaffing down the tree, be very careful, right? Gaffing down the tree, it's the end of the day, it's the end of this long removal. So now my weight's in here. And it's still caught between my lanyard. I'm done with this for now. So it's gonna fall onto the bulk of my rope. Clear up. Right. So we're back to our regular setup. And we're gonna give it one more whip around. Without any entanglements. There we go. 1, 2, and maybe not. Let's suck it in closer. Nope. Hey cameraman, how many tries is that?
2.
Is that 3?
That was 3.
Okay, maybe the third time didn't work this time. We're gonna cut for an intermission while I get this. God damn. Got it. And we're back. Sorry about the delays, technical difficulties. So, where were we? Gaffing back down, okay? So, I've got both my lanyards, both my ropes, right? I got a little bit of slack. And as I come down, I'm gonna have to extend or give myself, pay out more slack because the wider the base is gonna be because of that root flare. So we're gonna gaff down. It's nice and easy. And then we just work it down, nice and easy. There's never a rush. We don't wanna hit the ground hard, so it's just easy kicks. And you wanna make sure that your gaffs are pretty sharp, okay? Don't walk around with your gaffs on the ground because you'll dull them out. So down, down, pay out the slack, and I'm at ground level. So now you can take all your system off, but that's just a quick little up, transferring with your lanyards, cinching anchor with your pulley saver or a friction saver, adjustable would be the way to go. But hopefully this helps you out. Visit us at bartlettman.com, Google us, Bartlett Arborist Supply. Let us know what you think. Drop a couple comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like and the subscribe button. Thanks for checking us out.